the setup episode. Alright, episode 85 review. Okay, like I said, I'm trying to get these recorded back to back so I can get for you all in a timely manner. And let me just say that this was not like a grandiose episode. It was more like a transition episode, right? You know, they tend to do these right before like a big event, right? There's nothing like too extravagant that happens. But I do like the flashback sequences that happen in this episode. I like the fact that we got to see our adventures from the start to where we are right now. I like the fact that we got to see all the captures with the legendary heroes. I'm glad that we got to see when we got all our partner Pokemons and their evolutions, and when we got our secondary captures and their evolutions. I like the fact that we got all this, which was nice and cool. When they were all talking about how Rakua is this paradise for Pokemon. And humans just happen to have the opportunity to be there, right? And they get there, and yeah, sure, it looks like a nice location, right? They got huge ass berries, I guess. That's oh, good positive vibes or whatever the fuck. But overall, it was kind of mid. At least from the first impressions, right? I was this doesn't look like that big of a big deal, right? Right? Yeah, sure, we got to see two legendary Pokemon. We got to see Rizzion and then we got Zapdos. And I know that in past episodes we saw there was a Terrakion in there. But realistically speaking, how am I supposed to get there and be this is a magical place, right? It just looks like a standard just nice place. The only thing different is the fact that Pokemon are chill, right? They're not easily spooked. They're not afraid of anything. Everybody's chill, calm. Pokemon that you would expect to be full rageaholics are all over there just walking next to each other. And then you got a Durant. They showed a Durant and a Hemor just chilling right next to each other. That's a crime against nature. I was waiting for us to get a Zangoose Seviper reference, because those motherfuckers hate each other. I still remember back in the Advanced Saga when you had Jesse Survivors just bitching in this fucking Zangoose. If they had shown that, I would have been okay, that's fun. But that's the only weird thing about it. That this place looks great, right? It looks like very beautiful location. But this could just be some generic field in a random location. It just happens to be on top of a fucking mountain. Oh, and I want to mention this because I said it in the last episode review that it just felt all the fucking heroes were just there. People were talking about how they're HM slaves and shit like that. And the first thing that happens is a Rayquaza is defog. And I'm bro, this can't be fucking serious. Obviously it's not actually defog because he just flipped his tail around and all the clouds dispersed and shit like that. But I'm just sitting there after what happened in the last episode, you're not beating the allegations that Lucius just used these Pokemon as HM Pokemon. Because he's using Rayquaza just using his tail to just disperse the clouds. That's defog. I was bro. The only crazy thing that happened, and I'm a little upset that they didn't make any note of it, is as soon as they start going into the forest, right? Because they're oh, this is might be the entrance of Rakua. It's not exactly Rakua, but it's a part of it. And so when they go in the forest, and there's a huge tonal shift, because out here, right, where they first land, it's this majestic, all green and bright colors and shit like that. And as soon as they enter the forest, it's all grim. You see vines everywhere and everything all spooky and dark. And I'm is nobody gonna mention the fact that everything looks like a complete 180 to what happened over there, right? Bright green colors, spooky dark brown colors, and everything is all gray and where there was no acknowledgement that the entire area just shifted, and that's a little jarring for me. And then they get to where there's this giant ass wall, and then Tropical blows it up and shit like that. And then they're okay, so now we're gonna split up. So Freed goes further in, and then he finds the Rakurium, and then Liko, Dot, and Roy are there chilling, planning their next move. And okay, I had to do a double take, and I had replay the scene like a couple times and like try to like slow it down as much as possible. But they had a moment where after Freeze goes, right, there's this little thing that zooms past Roy's foot, and I'm pretty sure it's like a Zygarde core. I'm not, or something similar to it, right? And then, so that's what it looks like, and I'm assuming that's what's going to lead into what happens in the next episodes. Because now, for what I saw in the preview, this week's episode, which I'm going to watch after finishing recording this video, is that the next episode is us against the Explorers. So we're getting like Explorers versus the Rakua people, like part 2 or whatever the fuck. And like, you have Freed versus Spinel, which you know for a fact that means Amentu's going to show up over there, right? Because that's just the way. I'm pretty sure they have to do something. There's going to be a 3-way fight between Freed, Spinel, and Amentu. Amentu doesn't fuck with Spinel, right? We already know this, right? That's my expectations of what's going to happen. And then you got the kids who are facing against Onyx, Sango, and Agate. I'm just like, Agate, for the first time, you actually look what you're going to do. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, because she has done things in the past. It's not like she's completely useless. I just feel like she's got like the least screen time out of the fucking main Explorers crew, right? So I'm hoping that we get to see some action, and like she's actually interesting and competent in the next episode. Like I said, this was a transition episode. Most of what was happening here is just us getting from point A to point B and like reminiscing on our past history. Also, I want to mention this, okay, because I just remembered it, and it's something that I wanted to talk about when I was watching the episode, is the fact they had this thing that they try to turn it into a callback, because like all the kids like prepare their tents and shit like that, and they do like a fantastic job. Very proud of them. And they're like, oh, I can't believe you did so good, and everything is like so quickly. Because yeah, when we were doing the terrestrialized cores, like we had to spend a lot of time in the wild, and we had to learn all this stuff. And then Frida's like, oh, so not only did you grow as trainers, but you grew as adventurers. And I was sitting here in the back of my mind like, this is the shit we needed to see. I'm still salty that we didn't get the time to actually see the kids exploring, right? We didn't get to see them adventuring. We just saw them getting, like, going through one motion after another, and then getting to the gym leaders, and then moving on to the next gym leader. We didn't get actual time with them in Paldea, right? We didn't get a chance to see them adventuring and having all these moments and like actually feel like a fucking journey. So I just wanted to say that because it really irked me when he said that, because it's like, and when they answered the way they did, I'm like, I wish we could have seen that, right? I wish we would have been able to see all this journeying that you're fucking talking about. But that's the last point. I'm gonna leave off the video right here, this review for y'all. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'm gonna get to watching this week's episode so I can record that review, and then I'll edit them all back to back so that I can have them upload in a timely manner so that I'm completely caught up with Horizons and we can get back to a weekly schedule. So without further ado, I've been your boy SoresanCrockxen, and I will see you all in future videos, streams, shorts, and everything in between.